Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with a kind of a consumer advice video and also a brief little review of this Spyderco Chicago. I was looking for a smaller backup knife. I went to the local shop, just kind of killing some time. Was out that way. It's a bit out of town, and I was out that way, so I figured I'd swing by. Wound up getting two. I like the little backup knives, and I've been looking for another more perfect one. Wound up picking up this and something else, and I did some, I guess what you call, I think they call it, I watch VinWiki. It's a car channel. I highly recommend if you like car stuff, watch that. As they would call shrewd negotiation, because I knew some stuff that the people there didn't know, and I'm going to pass that knowledge on to you. Just some advice about buying Spydercos, whether it's in a shop or you're buying them online. There is a very valuable piece of information to know, and a couple of little things that will apply to anything when you're shopping in a brick and mortar knife shop. We'll talk more about the knife later. I'm going to put a link right down below, right at the top of the description. If there's a timestamp and you just want to know about the knife, I will put the timestamp where you can just go straight to that and you don't have to listen to all this. But what happened is I went in there looking at the small knives. They had this. I've always been intrigued by the Chicago. I asked them to open the little case, put it in my hand. Really like the way it feels in my hand. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I really like this. Don't know if I'll keep that clip. We'll get to that more in the kind of review part. But yeah, it feels really good in my hand. Small little knife. This might work really well for a good secondary knife. I've been looking for more of those lately, and I really liked it. But I wasn't sure how much it was, how much I was going to pay for it. So I look at the box, and this is the box that was there. First of all, big sign you might get a deal. Multiple price stickers. The original MSRP, $79.95. Our price, $70. Special, $59, which is still more than they go for online. They go online now for $52. But I looked it up while I was standing there, pulled out my phone, Googled it. This is an older version. This has 440C steel and a little bit heavier liners. I don't think they're milled out as much as they are. And the newer ones are BD1, and the liners are more milled out. They're, 0.4 of an ounce lighter and have BD1 steel, which is, arguably better. And then I thought, all right, okay, they've already had this a while. They've marked the price down thrisely. So, and this is a shop that doesn't really put MSRP and our price, so it was like, already they were trying to mark it down. It's a brick and mortar shop. They charge more than MAP usually, but I get 15% off because military discount. They know me well there. They know what I'm talking about. And so they usually give me pretty good prices. I can usually get pretty close to internet prices, maybe $1 or $2 more, and it's there, and I'm helping them out, so it's fine. I don't mind helping out a local shop. There aren't that many local shops here in Rochester, so don't mind helping out. And I'm not going to name the shop. Don't ask me. I'm not going to say it. But there's something you need to know when you're looking at Spydercos. There's a thing called a date code, and it is just these two little letters here. So this GK, what you do is you take the G is the month. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for G. July, K, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this was July 2011. It's a brand new knife sitting in the box, made July 2011. And I believed it because the G10 was kind of dried out, not faded, but G10, just after a while sitting there, it gets kind of dull. I've since put some mineral oil on it, and it's come right back again. But I could tell it's been sitting around for a while. Looked it up online for a new BD1 version. It was $52, and I said, hey guys, you've had this since 2011. And I was like, I don't think I've had it that long. I'm like, well, you said it's new, and that's what the date code says. And then one of the other guys was like, yeah, I guess we probably have had it that long. We probably had it pretty much since we opened. So I said, I'm going to buy another knife too. And I gave them MAP on that. I still got it down to MAP. They had it a bit above MAP, not bad. It was I'll just say what it was. I got a little man bug. I've wanted one of these for a while. I paid regular internet prices on this, and I had to pay taxes on top of it. So more than I probably would have paid online, but not ridiculously. So I said, I'll give you $35 for it because I'm buying the man bug too. I'm not going to give you a hard time about that. I didn't take my 15% military discount off of that, former military discount off of that. So they were like, oh, yeah, that's fine. So I got out the door. What was it, like $85 or something plus tax out the door? fine. But just know these date codes. This is a good thing to know, especially even just buying used, not just buying online. But if you're looking at a knife and some guy's saying, brand new in box, never carried, and you look at the date code and it was made 5 years ago, it's probably not terribly likely that it was never carried. It is, maybe if it's sitting in the shop, it's been sitting in the shop for a long time, you can make an offer. But if someone says brand new, never carried, the knife was made 5-6 years ago, ask for more pictures. Just ask for more, really tight close-up pictures of the blade and stuff, just to make sure they are. So that is my little thing, just telling you how to read the date codes. 2 letters, month, year. They just go by the letter order 7/11, July 2011 for this particular one. This is the man bug I got. This is what was it? It's like October 2016, I think. I may be wrong on that. I'm not going to count it out right now, but something like that. You get the point. Yeah, I think this is October, November 2016. All right. There we go. That's how that works. Just telling you about that. Now let's talk about this knife. As I said, I was looking for a little pocket, little backup knife. And I've always been kind of intrigued by the Chicago. This is a smaller version of the Cat. It was made for, as the name would indicate, Chicago. And their somewhat silly knife laws. You had to carry under 2 inches, so they made this. So it fits Chicago rules. And it's a pretty cool little knife, I do have to say. Very well made. It's a Taiwan knife, which is always nice to get I like the Taiwan Spydercos. They're usually made very, very well. It's not the Taichung Taiwan, though. I think it's just Taiwan. But still, even the regular Taiwanese ones are usually pretty nice. Better than the Chinese ones, anyway. I really like a lot about this knife. I like the G10. The ergonomics on it are excellent for the size that it is. I do have to say, for being such a tiny little knife. And it is tiny. Let's do some specs. You have an overall length of just 5 inches, blade length of 2 inches, blade thickness, I measured it at 0.10. A lot of sites say 0.09. That may be the BD1 one, maybe a bit thinner, and weighs 2.2 ounces. So it's a pretty light, not super light for this size, but fairly light. And I just like the little leaf blade shape. Do some size comparisons, give me an idea of just how small this thing is. We'll put it up against the Spyderco Roadie. Little slip joint I often carry as a secondary. You can see it's not too far off the length of that, maybe just a hair shorter, but obviously a lot more usable blade. Your CRKT Pilar, another fairly small knife, much smaller than the Pilar, so you get this is not a large knife at all. The aforementioned Spyderco Man Bug, we'll put that out here. Got this at the same time for the same kind of purpose. You can see quite a bit larger than the Man Bug, but you're not, as far as cutting edge goes, the Man Bug may even have more, but it's a much smaller little handle there. A knife that I like a lot. I've been carrying a whole lot as a secondary, but I'm weird and I wanted something black and I can't get another one of these. I almost just bought another one of these in black, but I thought I'll get or gray, the titanium one or whatever it is, or stainless steel. This is the Black Fox Bean Gen 2. Pretty similar overall to that in length. And some more knives you might know. We'll just do 2 here. Your Ontario Rat Model 2. And Spyderco Delica. There we go. So it is a bang. It is a tiny little knife. I really like it though, as far as just to have something to. Like I said, I'm probably going to take the clip off and drop it in my pocket. But I really like the overall look of it. It is very Spyderco looking. It does definitely kind of say, I'm a Spyderco fan, but I wanted a little knife. And I really like that about it. It's got the traditional leaf blade shape. It says this one is 440C. The newer ones are BD1. But the quality of it's pretty good. I don't really have any issues with it. I tore it apart and oiled it. It had been sitting in that box since 2011, so it definitely needed some oil. It was pretty dry in there. But it's gotten pretty smooth. Blade centering's a bit off, and I could never really get that right. That's one of the only quality things that annoys me about it. Other than that, all the edges are really well done. The lockup's really good. it's a nice little knife. Carries, you know, I got the wire clip. I love the wire clips, but I just don't think a knife this size needs a clip at all. It's getting to it's almost the point where maybe it'd be nice to have one, but not quite. I think that clip's a goner. But pretty cool design. I really like it. As I said, it's made for Chicago. So it was made to fit a purpose, and I think Spyderco did a very good job of that. The blade is I think I measured it like 20 thousandths behind the edge. Not ridiculously thin behind the edge, but not bad. Slices pretty well for a knife this size. I think it's going to work fine. The 440C steel is not mind-blowingly great, but it's all right for a knife like this. I'm not going to beat the hell out of it. Let's be honest. This is just going to be a secondary knife that if I have to cut something open in front of people who aren't going to be fond of whatever the big primary knife I'm carrying is, then I'll pull this out instead. That's usually how I carry my secondaries, without a pocket clip in the bottom of my pocket. And if I'm around people who are going to be intimidated by the bigger knife, I just reach down in my pocket, past the big one, pull out the little one, or I put it in that, you know, fifth pocket thing there. But if you did want to carry this a clip, it is a good clip. It works very, very well. Deployment on it is not, it's not great. I have seen in videos people spider flick these. Good on you. I can't do it. I tried a couple times and I flung it across the room. My fingers are just too long. I can't both get my finger in there and get a hold of this thing well enough to do that. So, but I've seen it done. It probably can be done. It's smooth enough. It does run on Teflon washers. It's not hyper smooth, but it's okay. And before anybody says, yes, I know value-wise, I probably could have found this on the secondary market for even cheaper than the 35 bucks that I paid for it. But they're not on the secondary market very much, and I don't want to deal with all that crap. I was there at the place. I negotiated them down to from almost half of what I got, like 40% off, so I'm fine with that. Very, very cool little knife. Very glad that I have it. This is kind of a micro mini review because they don't make it in this version anymore, so it's not really a good reason to go into the whole everything about it. But a pretty cool knife. I've not seen many videos out there about it, and kind of sad about that because it's a pretty neat knife, and it's still made as far as I can tell. It's still up on a whole lot of sites. Again, in the BD1 version though, not in this 440C older version. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope you learned a little something about the little date codes when you go shopping for Spydercos. Like I said, this is half consumer advice, half review. But I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I've been Brian. Have a good one.